Hello everyone, welcome back to Fraud on the Telly. In today's video, we'll be breaking down episode 7 of the Legend of Vox Machina, an episode which contains one of my favorite scenes in all of Critical Role, which makes the episode aptly named Scanbo. Yes, in today's episode, we'll be breaking down the epic moments of episode 7, talking about our favorite gnome revolutionary, and going over a bunch of differences between the animated show and the campaign. As always, if you enjoy the video and learn something new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Go check out our Legend versus the campaign series. In our most recent video, we broke down and compared the moment where Percy killed Professor Anders from the campaign to the animated show. As well, check out my Easter egg videos, including 60 plus Easter eggs for episodes 7 to 9. I will say, I stayed up all night making that Easter egg video, so some of them are a bit wild and a bit out of left field, but I think it's a fun video, so check it out. Oh yeah, and obviously, spoilers are ahead for episodes 7 to 9 and campaign 1. Okay, let's crack on. Our episode begins with Professor Anders teaching a young Percy and Cassandra about the nature of whitestone and residuum. Residuum is a green glass-like material refined from the whitestone that can be used to amplify spellcasting. It is an important and expensive material in the Critical Role universe. Percy and Cassandra have quite the classic brother-little sister relationship, with Cassandra tormenting Percy relentlessly. Percy is too smart for his own good, the middle child in the line of succession to the whitestone throne. Percy never considered ruling and invested more time in his studies and tinkering. I love these interactions between Percy and Cassandra because it's such a stark contrast to what they become. The scene is set up as a warm, happy scene with the bright colors and lighting, the lucky nature of the siblings, but in reality, it's actually one of the saddest scenes of the episode when you realize that their lives are only going to go downhill from here as everything they love is going to be taken away. Anders questions Lord and Lady DeRollo about an inquiry into a refinery to triple Whitestone's residuum production. He's chastised by the Lords, saying he should mind his ambition and know his place. Oof, always be wary of a man with a wounded ego. Anders storms off telling the siblings they should pray they never wake to find reality, and we all know what happens after that. Flashback to present-day Whitestone, Vax is chewing Percy a new one for his lack of control, saying he saw Percy's eyes. Side note, I love the little touch they did with Percy's eyes whenever he goes full smoke demon. It helps convey the idea that it is his revenge that is driving him in these moments. Vex tells Percy when he holds the weapon, it's like he's a different person, and asks what it is. Next, we get some of the coolest scenes of animations of the whole episodes as Percy gives us the details on the creation of the pepper box. Well, not all the details. As a young man, Percy managed to escape from Whitestone, where he wandered aimlessly for 2 years, at times sleeping in the city gutter. Let me just say, Taliesin killed this voiceover. This scene feels like something straight out of Darkest Dungeon, with the cymbal crashes, dark scenes, or maybe it's just his cadence. That's it, Taliesin Jaffe for narrator DLC, I need it now. Percy gives the convoluted speech about revenge consuming him, and within his dreams he was gifted with the inspiration to construct a weapon that would tip the scales, aka his pistol. A pretty awesome way to have firearms invented in a world, if you don't mind me saying. Obviously, Campaign 1 fans know the inspiration for this pistol wasn't just random dumb luck, but giving from something much more sinister. Keyleth connects with the Sun Trees, he sees that the roots was once tall and fruitful, but with the takeover by the Briarwoods, corruption has seeped within its roots. Keyleth tries to help the tree by casting a spell, but she just ends up catching it on fire. Classic Keyleth. Percy explains the barrels contains the name of those he will seek revenge on. Scanlan asks who the 6 barrels for because it remains nameless. Foreshadowing intensifies. Archie gives us a number of the noble houses of Whitestone and how the Briarwoods have installed their cronies in them. These nobles are Sir Stoneful, who's been killed, Count Tyleri, who I don't believe is in the show, Anna Ripley, the Duke, and Professor Anders. Archie tells the party that Cassandra is being held in Anders' house, and if they were to rescue her, she could be the catalyst for rallying the common folk. The group decide to split up, Scanlan heading on a solo mission to the Duke's mansion to cause a distraction so the rest of Vox Machina can save Cassandra. In the campaign, Scanlan's solo mission was a distraction so Vox Machina could attack Count Tyleri, as well as in order to raise a rebellion. But obviously, because of time constraints, they blended these events together. Scanlan makes his way into the mansion only to stumble upon the Duke. Things go completely off the rails as the Duke and his soldiers chase Scanlan throughout the mansion. He stumbles upon a group of guards playing D&D. That's Laura Bailey's dice bag down there, if you didn't know. Scanlan has brought his assortment of potions he took from Bryn Sight's lair, and just begins chugging. The first makes him poof in and out, dodging the incoming soldiers' attacks. This is most likely supposed to be Dimension Door. The second causes him to reduce in size. This is probably the Enlarge Reduce spell, based on Scanlan's joke about why someone would never choose Reduce. Scanlan drinks the last potion as he is caught by the Duke and his guards. Just when it seems Kimwin is finito, he belches out a cloud of flame, setting the house ablaze. Scanlan manages to escape for a short while into the Duke's trophy room. In a panic, he pulls out the scroll of polymorph, which he has struggled to make work. He decides to sing the spell, transforming himself into a rampaging triceratops, killing guards and destroying infrastructure. Finally, he transforms into himself and escapes onto the roof while the house is ablaze. He's followed by the Duke, and the two engage in battle. Scanlan's getting his ass handed to him until he whips out the bird, summoning Bigby's hand as a middle finger to duel the Duke's massive blade. Unfortunately for Scanlan, it wasn't enough as the Duke casts him down to the ground, while the rest of Vox Machina, having seen the burning building, initiates their assault on Professor Anders' home. Vax looks to check the door for traps, but Grog, being impatient, goes charging in. It seems Andrew was waiting for them, as Grog is pelted with a number of arrows. This only enrages the Goliath, who charges forward, destroying the guards. Pinned to the ground, it seems the end has finally come for our horny gnome friend, till in desperation, he channels his spell Lightning Bolt, and with a pelvic thrush, a bolt of lightning pushes through the Duke. Scanlan goes full Giga Chad as this sweet bassline comes in. He rides off into the sunset with Bigsby's hand, giving the Duke the bird the whole time. Back to Andrew's mansion, Percy has chased him through the house until he comes upon the professor holding Cassandra, his sister, at knife point. In a horrific moment, Anders cuts Cassandra's throat. She falls to the floor, choking on her own blood. The episode ends with Percy caught in complete shock. Okay, banger episode, let's be honest, but they actually changed a lot of both of these scenes from campaign to show. Scanlan's Scanbo Triceratops heroics were relatively pretty accurate, just a lot of the order on things were changed. In the campaign, Scanlan goes charging into the house as a Triceratops with his polymorph spell. From there, after causing destruction, he drinks the fire-breathing potion, setting the house alight. He then runs to the roof where he's followed by the Duke. However, their conflict is way less dramatic. Scanlan actually instantly kind of gets the better of him, sending him off the side of the house with a shove from his magical hand. Don't get me wrong, the Scanbo scenes from the campaign are amazing. Easily one of my favorite scenes in the entire campaign 1. But in the show, it just feels more epic. In the campaign, Sam's just stumbling his way through the entire encounter, providing an equal amount of hilarity to the epicness of his solo mission. The whole duel on the roof in the animated show just is better. It makes the Duke a way scarier character, which makes Scanlan overcoming him even more impactful. I also love how they finally incorporated Scanlan casting spells from his crotch, a thing he did often in Campaign 1. The Percy Anders scene is both entirely different, yet the same. Substitute Percy for Vax and bingo bango bongo, you got it. Vax comes upon Anders holding Cassandra at knife point. In a split decision, Vax decides to push in the room alone, getting a surprise attack on Anders. He actually removes one of the professor's eyes with his dagger, but in response, Anders cuts Cassandra's throat. Honestly, once again, this scene's just better in the animated show. The impact of Percy being the one watching his sister's throat be slashed is infinitely more better than it being Vax. Overall, an amazing episode like always, and one of the episodes I was looking forward to the most. Let me know what you think in the comments below. It feels like the Legend of Vox Machina seems to be only getting better with every episode. If you enjoyed the video and learned something new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Go check out our other Legend of Vox Machina videos on screen now, and I'll see you in the next one. As always, guys, stay safe out there. Peace, love. Adieu.